Welcome to the Word on the Street podcast, coming at you again on a Tuesday. No, November. No, it's not November. What am I thinking? It's September the 23rd, the year 2014, AC after Chael. Which is, speaking of Chael, we do have two very important special guests tonight on the show, but producing and co-hosting the whole thing, making it all happen, is my man Jake from the MMA podcast. Jake, what do you hear? What do you say?
There's no use in sitting here crying, whining, pissing, moaning.
I'm doing very well. Follow us on Twitter at the MMA Podcast. I'm also super stoked for this show. We got Coach Clayton. We got Coach Jamie. It's going to be a fun one.
Hell yeah. We do have, although I think we might have lost one of them. Yes, we did. We did lose our special guest. I'll give him a call right back here in a second. But also with us is another producer, co-host, founder, originator, the living legend himself from Team Sun and MMA boxing coach, Jamie, the living legend Huey. How you doing, Jamie?
Outstanding, guys. How are you?
Excellent, man. Excellent. We should have a good one. I do just have to ring him back up real quick. He is, well, what can I say about this man? He is another Team Sun and coach, former boxing, professional boxer. I believe he was a former military man as well. What else am I missing? Coached Team Sun through The Ultimate Fighter Season 17 and TUF Brazil 3. Even though the headlining fight between Chael and Vanderlei never materialized, they are both effectively out of the fight game. Vanderlei Silva's been banned for life. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But hopefully we can get Coach Clayton here back on the phone here. Having a little connection problems. Not sure where he's actually at right now. We'll ask him if we get back in touch with him. Live podcast, people. It happens.
Exactly.
But you're like getting a behind-the-scenes look at the Word in the street. This is how it goes down on the streets, people.
It's funny because his phone line was fine for 10 minutes.
It happens. I'm not sure if we got him or not. Coach Clayton, are you there? Maybe not. All right, we'll try him again in about a minute or two.
Murphy's
Hopefully
Law,
we
people.
can get him. Yeah, it's happened before. I was supposed to have a bloodstained laying on the podcast one time. Didn't happen.
He had to go to church.
Vinny Magalhaes also couldn't make it that day. It does happen. But in the meantime, before we try Coach Clayton again, Coach Jamie Huey, how are you doing? Where are you this time? Last time we spoke last week, you were on the road traveling around. What's happening now this week? What's the update?
This man's Carmen Sandiego.
I'm the Dora of Explorer of MMA. I was up in Portland. Just got back a couple days ago. Actually was in Portland for 2 weeks. Then I went over in the LA area, California, and then back here in Las Vegas for a couple days. Jumped back into the groove. Got my boxing guys I'm working with down here at Couture, a couple other guys. So I'm back in Vegas as we speak.
Awesome. Do you gamble, by the way? I don't think I've ever asked you.
Not really, man. I won a couple fights at some casinos, and that's about my extent of success when it comes to casinos. So, I'm not a big gambler. I just, I put I might put $1 in here or there, but that's about as far as I can go.
Nice. Yeah, I don't like walking up to a blackjack table. I'm more of I'll get a drink and just screw around with the slot machines and video poker.
That's me too. I don't know how to play any of those other games.
Yeah, it's not gambling large amounts of money. It isn't fun for me. Even winning, you're all right, I won. Now I got to do it again, I guess, until you lose. But we're getting reports, Jake, by the way, that we keep going off the air. The sound is cutting in and out. I'm not sure what's going on with our internet connection.
I know the recording, like I have the recording in front of me, and that's fine. So the YouTube and iTunes version is going to be good. As far as you stream goes, it's telling me we've been on a continuous stream for 6 minutes now, and the volume is registering for all of us. So. I don't know if it's a problem on their end. If you're having problems listening to it live, whenever we're done, we're going to throw it up on iTunes and YouTube immediately, and I can see that it looks fine there. So,
I'm guessing the person who reported that is having some sort of internet connectivity issues, possibly using Wi-Fi itself. Maybe, but who knows? Maybe there's something. I don't have my news on. Usually I'm watching Fox News as a goof on one of my screens here. I don't have it on right now. It's possible that the alien invasion has occurred, and that would explain why we lost connection to Coach Clayton Hires, who we are attempting to call back right now as we speak. But who knows? Maybe he hung up. Maybe he tapped out right when he started hearing the voice of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying. But let's try to dial him back.
It's good I played the clip that I did, because the other clip I had queued up had quite a few more F-bombs in it.
We'll play it. If we don't get Coach Clayton on, you're going to play that damn clip.
I'll find it.
Yep. Hopefully he's got good reception. He did mention that he might have some reception problems before we went live here. It seems like that's the case.
Yo.
Hey, Coach Clayton, man. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with the connection. Yeah, you told us you might be having some issues. It happens, man. It's a live broadcasting.
I'm in the area a little bit. The different location. My wife said that if you go down here and you get on top of this hill over here by this tree, then get there. Are you kidding me? The sprint, man. It's this sprint thing over here.
Yeah.
I went in Vegas. Yeah, we're in Nevada.
Yeah. Are you? I heard you. Where are you right now? To where the reception is in and out. It's good right now, though. By the way, but I heard you. Jamie was saying that you were moving to Vegas. Are you there already? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm about what? How far from you, Jamie? About 20 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, not far. We were probably about a half a mile away from each other in Oregon. So we're a little farther in Nevada than we were in Oregon.
Good Lord, that's good though. I'm further away from you.
I'm coming over to drink. I'm coming over to drink all your stuff.
I got all over there. Hey, actually, the reception pretty good right here. I'm out here by my car. I'm outside, but it's not cold, so it's good.
Excellent.
It's good.
Excellent. We got you loud and clear. Coach Clayton Hires, I was telling the people while we were trying to get you back on the line that you are a former professional boxer. You are an MMA coach. You've worked with two of my favorite fighters of all time, of course, Chael Sonnen and Uriah Hall, who's been on the show 5 or 6 times. We love him to death. But Coach Clayton, you are also you're El Hombre de Guerra. You have a professional... Exactly. The man of war.
Man of war, baby.
Yeah, we'll ask you about that in a second here, but you have, in your professional boxing career, just to everybody listening, you had 15 wins, 10 of them by knockout. According to the internet, the amount of rounds you boxed professionally was 175. You were the middleweight all-army boxing champion for several years in a row. You were apparently, I didn't even know this, a sparring partner to Marvin Hagler. I got to ask you about that in a second here. But I do, before we get into your work with UFC MMA fighters, I do have to ask you about a little bit about your professional boxing career. Because I've never had a chance to talk to any professional boxer like ever in my life. This is the first time. It's an honor having you on the damn show. Your first pro boxing matches that are on the internet anyway were in Denver, Colorado, which is where Jake is right now. What was up with that? It was back in 1981. Um,
Oh,
what was going on? What
yeah,
were you
yeah,
doing in
yeah.
Denver?
Well, see, I was over in Europe fighting out in Berlin as an amateur in my last year as an army fighter. And one of the fighters on the team, a heavyweight, he had a manager trying to get a hold of him, and, from Texas. I forget the kid's name, but it was a big heavyweight. And he would call the gym asking about this guy. And I found, hey, man, hey, I'm getting ready to get out of the army. I want to turn pro too, blah, blah, blah. Let's hook it up. Let's hook something up. And he said, well, let me look you up. He looked me up and he seen I could fight. So he said, okay, why don't you come on out here to Oakland, California. And he had a champion at the day, a cruiserweight champion. I can't remember the kid's name at the time, but he wanted me to come out there and get him that stable. So I said, yeah, that's cool. So when I got out of the army, my ex-wife, she didn't want to move to California. I don't want to move to California. I want to move to Colorado, be close to my family. Yeah. I said, well, shit, it's cold in Colorado. It's cold. So, but I of course, I decided to do it, make it happen. So I decided, I said, what the hell? I decided to move to Denver. We moved to Denver, and, actually, it was down in Pueblo, south of Denver, which is a small town. And there was a fighter down there. I had a gym I used to go and work out in, just very sharp. There was a fighter coming in. His name was Benjamin Marcus. Really good amateur. One of the top amateurs in the nation at the time as a featherweight. And one day, I was talking to him. He said, hey, man, if you want to turn pro, man, I know, man, we go up to Denver, man. I know this guy up there in Denver, man. And he's a good promoter. He's a good manager and stuff. And he has a good gym. And, man, you can go there. His name was Corky Gonzalez. And Corky was a big-time fighter back in the 50s. And also, Corky was a Lhasa leader. He was a, civil rights type of, Lhasa's all like, civil rights, equal rights for Spanish population, this type of stuff. Anyway, gotcha. I said, okay. So we went up, took our ladies up to, drove up to Denver for this promotion. And, we walked in there, and, Corky gave us tickets and stuff. And I went back to talk to him while he was, wrapping hands with his fight, get prepared for the show. But you remember now, you got to understand something. There was no commission in Colorado at the time, boxing commission. So everything, the promoters and managers, they pretty much did their own thing. So I went back in the back with a buddy of mine. Me and Benji went back in the back and talked to the Corky. I said, hey, Corky, like I was an Army champ a couple years in a row, So I got my shit together, man. Look here, you bring your best middleweight down to Pueblo and I knock him out. Corky looked at me as he was wrapping one of the fighters' hand. He said, you know what, son? We ain't got to go to Pueblo. You can fight tonight. I said, what? I said, so I went out to the audience. You can fight tonight. I said, what? So I went out to the audience and told my wife, I said, baby, look out. I'm going to throw down tonight, because you want to see what I got. I said, all right. So I borrowed some pants from one fighter in the gym and in the dressing room. I got some shoes. I didn't have my gear. So I hooked him up and Corky wrapped my hands and put me on the card. I knocked the guy out in the second round. But he said something I should have kept in mind. He said, and after the first round, I beat the guy pretty good. And came back and I'm sitting in the corner. He looks at me. He said, son, you're doing everything I teach. I can't do anything. Dad should have told me something right there.
Wait.
Right? Well, think about it. That could have told me. That should have told me something right there.
You're saying you took a fight on pretty much minutes notice. You fought that same night.
I fought that night.
Jesus,
that's crazy, and knocked the guy out. Oh God!
Yeah, I stopped in the second round. Stopped in the second round. But he said something I should have thought about. He said after the first round, when I sat in the corner, he looked at me and he said, "Son, you're doing everything I teach. I can't tell you anything." I said, I shouldn't have been going. I should have went somewhere to for my career if he can't teach me anything.
The corner had no advice. Holy shit.
No advice. I said, well, are you kidding me? So, yeah, that's how it started, man. My first fight.
Have you, and you're cornering a few people, have you ever come across a fighter to where you didn't have any advice for him? Or is it a little different now? Like, obviously, I'm sure you're a better coach than the one you had that night. But
No, not really. There's always big guy things guys could do better, you know. You get in that corner, you know, it's kind of action is moving pretty fast, but you want to keep it simple, keep it to basic, and but you feed off the basic movements and add movements to that. But there's basic things they need to be doing, and they're always fighter can always improve. So you know, I kind of watch it, and you know, and MMA is a little different. There's so many disciplines, you know. They just, you know, I'm just a stand-up guy, striking. I'm a boxing coach, but I call it striking, and you're striking with your hands, your feet, your elbows, and knees. You know, it's all pounding the guy upside his head with one of those variables of positions of the body. So, yeah, there's always things that you can improve on.
yeah,
That's obvious.
If MMA was as big back then as it was now, do you think you would have gone down that route?
You know what? One day I was in the gym, Team Quest out in Oregon, and Robert Foley kicked me in my leg. My leg hurt for a whole week. No, I don't think I would. He was just showing me this kick. He kicked me in my leg. My leg hurt for a week. There's no way I did. No, I'm a boxing guy. I see that. I don't want. Only thing I want to worry about is your two hands. I don't want to have to worry about your feet. I don't want to have to worry about your knees, your elbows. Yeah. I don't want you throwing me on the ground. I don't like guys grabbing me, throwing me down, and getting all on top of me and choking. I don't want about choking me. You know, put their arms around my neck. I don't want that. I don't know. I couldn't do it. Nah, it's pretty tough. You got to be real. You got to have some skills. They got to have some skills. But boxing is a little different. Boxing, here's what dominates boxing. Youth, speed, timing. You got to have those three things, and you got to have heart. If you miss it in those elements, you won't be successful. That's why the young, Mayweather will lose because he's getting older. I mean, everybody say he's going, he's 38. Come on, man.
Yeah.
A kid going to come along. If he stays around, he's going to beat him up. That's just the way it is. There's an exception to every rule. I think, there's a few guys that stay around longer, like Bernard Hopkins. He's an old guy, but he's still there. But notice how he boxes. He moves his feet, moves his hands good. He's a real smart guy.
Yep. He avoided damage. That's definitely.
Yeah. He don't get hit a lot. Quite sure his training regimen is really sharp in the gym, where he's not taking punches in the gym as well.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for all the questions about the old school of boxing, but this is just fascinating to me. Like 10 of your 15 wins were by knockout. 10 out of 15 knockout. Since I didn't get the chance to ever see you fight, was your style based on power or was it countering? Like how did you manage that high of a rate of KOs back in the day?
A lot of pressure. I was a Joe Frazier fan. I love Joe Frazier. I love that guy.
Yeah.
And I love Joe Frazier, and I was a Jose Napoles guy. I love Jose Napoles. He was a Cuban fighter out of Mexico. Those are guys, I'm quite sure that people don't remember these guys, but they probably remember Joe Frazier. But those were my favorite fighters at the time, back in the day. And I used to love the body snatchers. Mike McCullough. He was another fight I used to like watch because he goes to the body really heavy. They beat you up. So I was a big pressure guy. I went to the body a lot. Never got tired. When I thought, if I looked across the ring, you was tired, I'll pick up the pace. It's nothing worse than being tired.
Damn.
You know what they say, Jamie. Fatigue makes cowards of us all. So you got tired. That's right. Man, you second win. It's no fun.
I gotta ask if you, Coach Clayton and Coach Huey, if you've ever had a little sparring session that got a little too serious or anything. Do you guys ever work with each other?
Clayton's a body puncher, man. I'll stick and move. I'd run for my life. I don't want any part of that.
I hear it right here, right on Joe Lewis on his arm. Ooh, buddy, remember the stories like Rocky Marciano, you hit guys on their arms, man. He hit them all over everywhere. Arms, he just punches, he didn't care.
Put their arm to
everywhere,
sleep.
man.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now,
It was
Coach Clayton, man, everybody, well, any boxer worth his salt, I'm guessing, always has that one match. And like I say, obviously, your fight that kind of put a stamp on who you were was when you fought Floyd Mayweather Sr. in 1984, and you won via unanimous decision at the Meadows Racetrack in Portland, Oregon. Mayweather Sr. He was on a 28-3. That was his record. He was on a 9-fight win streak at the time. After he lost to you, he only fought 2 more times, and then he was out of there, man. I think off judging from the record, you probably destroyed his confidence and ruined his entire career. But if you could tell us about that fight, what you remember from how it came together, was it as epic at the time as it is now? Was it a big deal back then, or was it just another win for you?
Well, for me, it was another win, but they brought him in. They brought him into Portland as the number 1 contender in IBF. He's a top guy, and the problem he had with me was that I'm an inside fighter, and the ring was small. That's where the trouble. That was the problem. And because he's a moving guy, he's a runner. I call him runners. Guys like him shoot where he lives. Those guys, all he did was run.
Clay Guida.
And punch. Yeah. Punch, run. Maurice Block was a runner. He hold you and run and grab you and throw jab and run behind the ref and hide and seek. That's what I call it. It was the same way. Hide and seek. And it was kind of hard, man, because he didn't expect that kind of pressure from me. I'm quite sure, in all honesty, he was looking for a win. I'm quite sure he did. Or a guy that's, good puncher, but then I don't know, did scout really scout me out? Did they really scout out the situation? I don't think so.
Right.
To be honest, because he's a big name then. He came in there, he was pumped up. But it was no big deal because, I had been to Hackles camp. I was sharp. I could fight, man. I could fight.
Hell yeah!
What's going on? I bite you.
What do you think about the son, Floyd Mayweather Jr.? Are you a believer, or is he another runner in your prime? You think you could take him? I mean, is he really the best? Like, what's your take on Floyd?
He's really. Here's how you can tell these guys are good. If other fighters coming up trying to emulate it. And that's what everybody's trying to do. Everybody's trying to fight like Floyd Mayweather because it's successful. He's very smart. He has good timing. He's not he's a volume puncher.
Mm-hmm.
He's fast and he's real sharp. So that's why he's 47 old, man. Come on, you don't beat 47. You don't beat 47 professional fighters without being real sharp. And of course, you get so many guys out there trying to be just like him. I was watching a video the other night of this kid named Boner. Mm-hmm. It was his Adrian Boner, I guess it was his
Adrian Broner, yeah.
Adrian Boner. Yeah, fight just like him. I'm watching going, why can't he fight like Mayweather? I mean, come on, how do you get they're doing the same bullshit. I mean, get your own shit style, don't you? Like that. So,
yeah.
It kind of bugs me. Then he got. And I'm watching. I'm listening to his corner. He was fighting. The kid that Mayweather just fought. The kid from
I just watched it.
Marcos Maidana.
Argentina.
Maidana, that's right.
Argentina.
Maidana. Maidana took the title from that kid. That's how he got the Mayweather fight.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how he got the Mayweather fight. And so I guess Maidana said, I beat this guy. I can beat Mayweather because he fights. His style was similar, with the shoulder roll and all that shit. But he's not that fast. He's not as smart as Mayweather. I don't know. All these guys, I don't know. Pretty weird.
The shoulder roll. You being a boxing coach, is that a technique that you actually encourage and teach, or is that some weird shit to you? Like,
Philly
honestly.
shell.
That, I think that's something that they perfected, and it's really good. You know what? There's guys. I mean, I seen Ali do the role. Ray Robinson. It's been used before. He does it a lot, and he's really, his timing is great. His timing is really sharp, man. I'm watching that guy and say, damn, I can't hit this guy. And I was thinking about it just, Madonna, he did go to the body quite a bit. He's a rough dude, too, though. So, yeah, it's sharp, man. His work. Hey, boss, he's 47-0. Obviously, it works.
Yeah, yeah. That record's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Your last looking at your record though, your last three fights were in 1991 and 92. I looked at it. Hopefully this is correct. Two of the matches were versus someone named Alan Harper. It was like he got an immediate rematch or something, and you won both of them.
Yeah.
What was up with that in the immediate rematch, if you can remember?
Canadian cat, man. He was, I was on like 30s. I was in my mid-30s then.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought he could beat me, after the first time I beat him. So he kept screaming for me. Like, all right, he was tough though.
It was like 3 months later.
Yeah, I think we fought in Eugene, Oregon. I think one of them places, eh?
Yeah,
Eugene, I think I fought that guy.
Yeah,
once in Portland, he was tough. Oh my God! But your body started breaking down at that age, and you don't see punches that I used to. Normally I would, in my 20s, that guy would have went, no way that guy would have went 10 rounds in my 20s, but, time catches up with you, and you got to stay around these fellas, and they be punching hard and harder and harder every year. The shots get harder, so, but you believe in your mind that you can do it. I'm 59 years old, and I see guys fighting on TV. I think I can beat that guy.
You do not look close to 60 at all, sir. You're in better shape than I will ever be in my entire life. I cannot. I got to get that secret from you in a second here. But yeah, your last fight was in 1992 against a man named Robert Britt, and it was a draw. Your last fight was a draw.
Robert Britt.
Yeah.
Britt, right? Yeah.
Why did so your last fight was a draw? Why was that the end? Why did you stop competing after that?
Well, I should not. There's no way that guy should have went that many rounds with me. I mean, they should, but in my mind, I'm going, this guy. I knew then that this guy went. So I said, it's time to stop. It's really hard for a competitor to see that the end is near, and oh man, this guy. You look across the ring, he's still sitting over there.
But you didn't even lose, but you were like, all right, I'm done. Most people retire on a loss.
Yeah,
I should have knocked him out.
I'm looking over there. Now this guy did. If I can't knock that out, how about knock out guys? Contenders. So you just wasting time. I said, man, I better get a job.
No, that's some damn honesty. Coach Huey, did you ever get the privilege of seeing Clayton Hires fight professionally in boxing? I'm guessing you guys didn't know each other. But
I saw his wife Lisa chase him around the house a couple times. That's all I needed to do.
That's the only time I keep my hands up.
How did you guys meet? Either one of you, if you remember.
Funny story. I don't know if Clayton remembers this, but man, probably I'm 40 years old now. I think I met Clayton when I was 20 years old. I was down at Garden Home Rec Center, where I fought most of my amateur fights, and Clayton was down there one night. And the first time I met him, we were talking, and he started talking about Marvin Hagler, how he worked with Marvin Hagler, and I don't remember a lot about my dad really growing up, but one thing I do remember is my dad was a huge Marvin Hagler fan. He loved, watching the Marvin Hagler fights. And that was one of those times, I'd go in the bedroom and, if Marvin Hagler was fighting Ray Leonard or whoever he was beating up, I always remember that. So I was like real fascinated with his stories, Clayton, about Hagler. And then to be honest with you, we just became friends after that. He lived probably a mile from my house. We were both boxing guys, and he'd come down to the gym, and next thing you know, he'd start to bring in all these MMA guys down, and I didn't know who they were. They just were a bunch of wrestlers that didn't know how to box, and they had funny looking ears, and I didn't know what was going on, and then one day I'm sitting at home, and it's like, I'm watching TV, I'm flipping through channels, and Clayton had been bringing Chael down to the gym. And I didn't watch MMA. I kind of think I knew who Randy Couture was, but I didn't really watch MMA. And I'm flipping through the channel, and Chael is fighting a guy named Paulo Filio for the WEC title.
Oh, man.
Now, Chael had been in the gym like that Monday, and it's Saturday, and he's fighting this guy for a title. What the hell's going on? And so I call up Clayton, and I go, Clayton, Chael is on TV fighting for a title. And at first I thought it was maybe an old fight, so, okay, this is a rerun. And then I realized that this is actually happening right now. Yeah. I call up Clayton, I'm like, so me and Clayton watched Chael fight Paulo Filio for the title over the phone, neither of us knowing what the stakes were going into this fight. Well, now they talk about Paulo Filio was 18-0. And I was like, why is Chael... Why does Chael keep taking this guy down? And they roll around, and eventually, he finally got caught. And, so that was kind of the first conversation me and Clayton really had about these guys. Like, man, there's really a need for boxing coaches out there. And most of the boxing coaches I know don't want anything to do with MMA. They're all old school guys. So.
Huh. But really, when I first started bringing fighters down there, Jamie was looking at me. I said, "Hey man, I'll bring Jake Ellenberger down there, and Ryan John Jensen, and
Ed Herman.
I brought up Ed Herman. I would bring those cats down there, because I wanted to be around boxing, not just to do the training, but also to see the kids moving. And, just the environment, because you learn from watching as well. so Jane would be looking at me going like, man, he see the guys moving. He see their footwork was kind of wacky. And, we talking wrestling here. Most of the guys will wrestle. Anyway, when I say, Jamie, I tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to take you to an MMA fight. Now, Chael promotes FCFF in Oregon. That's one of the top amateur programs in the Northwest.
You got that going.
Yeah, man. If you dominate the FCFS, you should turn pro, right? So I said, I just think it's like I invited Dan to come down, and he gets to the arena, man. The place is packed. He's sitting up there, he got in the front row seat, he's watching these guys fight. And when they come out there, they look terrible. The stand-up look terrible, right? And Jamie go like, man, why am I in here? He was so mad. He kept looking at me. And finally, about the third or fourth fight started, the announcer come back and in this corner, we got ourselves a boxer, and he's so many fights, and here's something, right? And Jamie looks at me, whoa, okay, we got a boxer coming. That'll work. I don't want to see this. So Jamie, he leans forward in the chair, and the referee gets in there. He goes like, fight. And that guy starts swinging his arm like some girl, and Jamie looked at me and said, oh, man, come on. He was so mad. Man, these guys can't fight. I said, man, that's why they need us, man. It's keeping boxing, man. I said, all fights start standing up, baby. You got to stand up. You got to get close to your cats, and you transition into your ground game. Yeah. But I remember that because he was so mad. He was pissed off that he had to sit there all night and watch his cat because he's a purist, And I had came around because it took me a long time to get involved with these guys because my cut man, Tom Samaro, got me involved with him. Tom Samara was Randy Couture's cut man. After he left me from boxing, once I retired, I went on and got me a job. You know, I went to work every day, and I did. Guys would give me tapes of the UFC 1. I did it. I had never watched it. I mean, I'm not watching these cats. They choking folks and throwing them around and bending their arms backwards, and got their legs. How a man get a leg around your neck? What they do it?
Rolling around on the ground. Yep.
Yeah. So I was trying to, I just wasn't into it until Tom kept calling me, and finally he just kept bugging me about coming down here and work with the guys in boxing. One day he called me and said, Clayton, I got this kid down here that you need to work with me. He's getting ready to fight. He's getting a title fight. He's getting ready to fight a southpaw. He said, you work with my high grade. He's a southpaw. You can help this guy. Clayton, there's not much I can do. He said, you have forgotten more about boxing than I ever know. But if you can work with it. So I finally said, okay. I forget what year it was, like 04, 05, but I think 05. So I went down to the gym. Went down to King Quest to watch. They call it. That's what it was. They call it. I watched it. Damn, I watched him, and he was moving pretty good. And big dude, man, he's a strong and good athlete. I said, whoa. So I went with about 2 or 3 weeks, a couple times a week. I would take him down to the. I wasn't taking him to Powell. Then I was taking him to Grand Avenue gym. I would take him down there, which was a pro gym in Oregon, up in Portland. I would take him over there. And that's the same gym I was now. When I was in the last fight I took over there was Uriah Hall. I would take him over there. Yeah. He loved Grand Avenue. It was old school, dirty. Everybody trying to knock your head off.
Jim I fought pro out of. It was a rough place.
Yeah, it's old school. Yeah, old school boxing. Yeah. But I took Nick Corey down there, and I thought, I felt he was moving his head, but it's really hard to train a guy, that short of time. And he came in for the title. He fighting Rich Franklin.
Yeah, Nick Corey. Damn.
So he takes off, man, goes to Vegas or wherever they did the fight. And I was over to my buddy's house, another one of my buddy's house, and he orders the fight on pay-per-view. I watch all these guys wrestle and roll around and choking folks off up until the title fight, the last fight. Then I sit there watch. They come out there, he moving nice, away from the power, away from Rich Franklin's power, and he threw a leg kick and missed and went down to the canvas. Goes down to the canvas. Rich Franklin tried to strike him in the head while he's down. He slipped the punch and get back to his feet. And as soon as he got to the feet, he went right into the left hand. Boom! And he went down like a tournament. I was like, oh, my God. I mean, he went down. He was like, they show highlights of it all the time now.
Yep, that was a horrible knockout.
Yeah. He never was the same once, that fight kind of, turned the curve on him a little bit. I mean, he fought, he won some fights after that, but he wasn't ever the same. I think,
Yeah, that was like his fight.
Yeah. But I said, oh, man. And then one thing I learned from that fight, though, it taught me a lot. Those squash gloves, that's a game changer.
How so?
That's a game changer. Well, because, number one, they're bag gloves. Those are the same kind of gloves you hit the bag with. And they're small. You got to parry punches a little different. Your block punches a little different. Because boxing gloves are bigger. Tennis gloves are bigger. You got more padding on them.
Yeah.
That's why, and another thing, that's why MMA fighters, that's why boxers, you'll find that more of them have a head trauma than MMA guys. Because in an MMA fight, a guy in the boxing, okay, you take a good punch, boom, you go down, you drop your knee, right, or you knock him down. Mm-hmm. The wrestler comes over there, you stand up and he takes your glove, he cleans off, he looks you in the eye, he gives you 8 count, looks you in the eye, he says, son, are you okay? Can you continue? And you think about it for a slight second, you look around, you see your girlfriend or your wife over there in the one corner, you see your homeboy sitting there over in the other corner, and you think about all your buddies watching you on television, you say, hey, yeah, I'm okay, I'm good.
Yep, 10 seconds more than enough. I'm back.
Yeah. Well, then you get hammered again, and you go down, and then you get up, and they roughly rub your gloves, and you look in your eyes, and you're standing tall, and can you continue? And you say to yourself, well, I can't quit, because, well, boys are gonna talk about me, and you keep going, especially if there's no 3 knockdown rule. As long as your legs are steady, they'll let you go, and you get hammered. By the time you hit 35, you don't know your name.
Yeah.
You have no clue who you are. So you got beat up so much in the ring, plus the gym where half the cats don't even wear headgear, they get hit upside the head. So, but in MMA, you get dropped, and they stop that. They stop that fight right away. Boom, it's
That's
over.
the end of the fight.
And you can be. Yes, the end of the fight. And you can be protesting that I'm okay. They're okay. It's over. You go down, and you show any signs of losing your senses, they stop it, and then they suspend you for a while.
Yeah. They don't. That's more than an 8 count. That's a 6-month count. Like
you out of there, man. Especially the high level shows like the UFC, Bellator, World Series. Those people, they suspend you because they know that it will look bad on the organization or the sport itself that somebody get ready to get hurt.
Yep.
Or you walk around all goofy.
Yeah, you managed to get out of professional boxing. Obviously, just speaking to you, you don't seem like you had any permanent damage. You're not punchy. What were people aware? Were you guys, the fighters, aware of brain trauma back then?
I didn't. You didn't hear about it as much.
Yeah,
we didn't hear about it as much, but you can tell. You knew. Guys have been, Jamie knows these cats. You hang around the gym, man. They be like, barely can speak and stuttering and have problems walking and day-to-day activities. But I even to admit, I used to move my head and duck and dodge and this type of stuff. But even sometimes I stutter sometimes, and I'm going, why am I? It just happens. It hit upside the head, man. It's hard. There's no gloves. Well, we'll see. We'll see as time goes on, as they do more testing and checking out fighters from early days of MMA. The ones I've seen, there's some guys that look around. They look a little goofy. MMA guys are going, but it was already crazy when they shot it. Half of them was whacking before they start choking folks out. So who knows?
Okay.
Who knows everything about that?
Yeah.
You'll see as time goes by.
Oh, I'm glad you made it out okay though, and didn't end up being that punchy boxer. You're actually you have coached you've coached. I want to ask you about Chael Sonnen before I ask you about Uriah Hall, and then I promise we will wrap this up. But it's just great to have you on, man. I just have so many questions, but we'll have to have a part 2 someday. But you worked with Chael Sonnen. I do have to ask how that came to be, and then you coached him through 3 UFC championship title fights. Obviously, we didn't get the result that everybody wanted, but it happened. Those were the most epic, notorious UFC title fights of all time. One of them was arguably the best-selling pay-per-view of all time, UFC 148, the rematch versus Anderson Silva. I got to ask you about your work with Chael Sonnen overall. How did you meet him, get to work with him, and then what do you have to say about where you were there for throughout his entire career, the title fights, and then of course this bullshit that happened to him, this nonsense of him being fired and retiring. What's your take on all that, and what can you tell us, man? You were there.
Well, I met Chael. Well, when Robert Foley hired me on that Team Quest.
Yeah, we had him on the show.
I think 05, 06. It might have been 05, late 05 maybe. And I just came in like once a week, work with the boxing, to work on boxing fundamentals. I kind of had to change, some of the habits the guys were getting into. Basically what these guys were doing is just beat the hell out of each other every day in the gym. It was like those were the toughest guys you would ever meet. Guys from Team Quest. So I had to change a few things, but just for boxing, Now remember, I'm just a boxing guy. I'm not they had wrestling, of course. They had Randy had been there. He had just left. That Dan Henderson was there. He had just left. He had, just so many elite guys. So it was more like a stable of contenders and a lot of 85-pounders. It was really weird. And a bunch of 85-pounders and 70 guys, 170. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of competition. So it was a lot of egos in there. Oh, man. But anyway, and Chael, I guess, man, Chael watched my routine. He watched my technique. He I remember one day he come and he said, "Hey, Coach, can we work after class?" Because I just did a boxing workout for the kids. I work with all of them.
Right.
And one day he's gonna say, "Coach, can we do some extra work? Just you and I after training." We're cool, man. And every time I would come in after training, he and I would work on different movements and something. Finally, one day he comes and says, "Coach, I'm fighting this guy." He gave me a CD of Paulo Filho. He said, "I'm fighting this guy. When you check him out and let me know what you think." Why? So I took the tape to the CD to the house and threw it in the DVD player. They don't have that no more, do they? Do they still have DVD player? You still got those things?
I got a Blu-ray these days, PS4, but some people, it ain't the DVD player ain't Walkman status yet. I know yours broke, but it's getting there.
I threw my CD in the DVD player. So I'm watching this guy. I'm watching this Paulo guy, and every time he throw punches at, he blink his eyes. He gets confused. He's like, "Oh my goodness, what's going on?" He had no stand up, but he was a ground cat. He was a ground guy. I mean, he's a jiu-jitsu whiz. So I watched him for a while, and then, so when Chael and I would do our workout after training, I go over on the number what you do when this guy try to grab you. Look at Chael. All I want you to do is box this guy. Now, I know you're a wrestler. I know you like wrestling guys. I know you want to take him down. I know you want to shoot on their double leg. I know you want to do that. I understand that. But don't do it this time. In other words, we want to take that fish out of the water and make him flap around. Okay? Okay, Coach. So I would go for things to do. I would actually get on on my back with I would get on my back with my feet up, like a crab. I said, "Okay, now when he does it, what do you do, Coach?" "Yeah, what do you do?" He just looked at me and he goes, "Well, I know he's thinking that he's going to jump down and hit me with a flying elbow and all that." I said, "You just back away and take your hands, palms up, and flip like this, and the referee make him stand up. And then when he stands up, you beat him up. You just punch him out because he can't box." "Okay, Coach." I mean, we had it down. We went over this and we were like, "Okay, fight time." Jamie calls me up. Clay, Chael fighting. I said, "Oh my goodness." I run upstairs and turn on my little TV. I still got that TV too, Jamie. It's a 8-track. So, yeah, what not 8-track. The big one. You push it in there. It's a big. Yeah, that is 8-track. No, that's 8-track.
The Beta or something. It's the Walkman of TVs.
Not the Beta, but the other one, the better one.
Oh,
shit. VHS.
VHS.
That's it. I had VHS. I turned it on. I'm sitting there watching Chael. He boxing pretty good. He took the guy down and come back, but he boxing good. He's on his feet. Second round comes around. He comes to the corner, and Robert and Matt Little, and they give him all the instructions. The second round, Chael goes out there and looking at the guy. He takes him down right away. Gets down there and gets arm bar or whatever the hell it is when they twist your arm backwards. Your arm force is lit. When you do your arm, you make a muscle and you bring your fist towards your face. They will take your arm and turn the other way. That's not good. If your arm goes out, you don't want to go backwards. You don't want to go against the grain. That's not good. That's what he did. Chael tapped out. I said, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm thinking, I'm watching it. I'm like, why did he do that? Why did he shoot that guy when he was beating him up so easy boxing it? And I kept watching it. Finally, it dawned on me what was going on. I called Chael. I kept Chael on the phone. I said, "Chael," I said, "I know why you took that guy down now. You were tired." He said, "Coach, you have no clue. I was exhausted."
Oh, shit.
And what I learned from that fight is that a lot of wrestling guys, when they get tired, don't give a damn what's going on in the fight. They grab you, throw you down, and get some rest.
Yeah.
They hold you down there. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so I started taking his ass up on Twiller the Hill, making him run that hill. I said, look at you don't get tired no more. We make sure you can go 15 minutes on your feet if you have to.
Yeah.
And so he became the cardio guy. I remember me. They said he got great cardio, stamina, cardio.
Yeah,
So we can make him
non-stop.
run that hill, man.
Yeah, non-stop. He was a dominant fighter, and
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much every round that was it. He would just he would own it. He would dominate it.
And we use a lot of boxing drills and conditioning techniques. You know, along with his wrestling and his, you know, he worked on it. You know, but mostly wrestling.
Yeah.
He you know, so he got his gas tank filled, man. So we had the hill. We run the hills. We run the steps. We run the sprints. We do our conditioning, circuit conditioning on his tracks and stuff. And I'm picking up some new. Hey Jamie, I'm picking up some new things over from Coach Adams.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm picking up some new conditioning drills on the track with him. Coach Adams, he's here in Vegas now. He's my boxing coach in the Army. He trains fighters. He trained a lot of the top professionals here in Vegas now.
Kenny was the Olympic. He was the assistant to the '84 Olympic team, and then he was the head coach of the '88 Olympic team.
Right.
The year that Roy Jones got robbed in Korea.
Right.
He completely changed amateur boxing. Yeah, Kenny's 85 years old or something, but he gets in there and he holds mitts and he looks like he's in his 20s. And
85.
Kenny Adams is a legend.
Yeah, he'll be 75 next week. He'll be 75 next week.
Okay, 75.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like,
Yeah,
85.
my bad. My bad.
Man.
Yeah, don't tell Kenny I said that. 85.
Yeah, I heard you say that. I better not tell Coach that. Coach is out of the track.
Yeah, Kenny will knock me out. He's 75, but he still moves.
I was debating whether I should say something like 85. Maybe you guys should tell who am I to?
You know what? He'll be moving like he is at 85, though. Still, I mean, Kenny's like you said, he's a legend, man. He's a legend in the sport.
Really, yeah, he's a man. He got it. He is so fun. It is so much fun to be in the gym around him. He makes it just when he's not there, you can tell. You know, it's weird. It's just the oddest thing. When Coach Adams is not in the gym, it's totally different. Yeah. Once he walks in, the whole atmosphere changes.
Yeah,
the whole atmosphere changes. He's something else. But it's fun to be around. And I'm learning. And I've been away from the boxing scene for a while as far as the knowledge. You know, if you're not, because I've been around MMA. You know, and it's just a whole different atmosphere. It's the oddest thing. I got my 19-year-old son down there sparring with these guys, and they showing him stuff, and it's fun. It really is. It's a pleasure to be here. I've come to find that being in Vegas, you know, it's a different. I'm looking at it from a different angle, but I'm always down on the Strip. Mm-hmm. It's some whole MG Grand, the Man Bay or the Caesar somewhere. And I never had gotten a chance to really see Vegas where people live, you know?
Yeah.
You know, the homes, where people shop, where people live. You know, I always seen tourists. I was part of the tourist attraction.
Yep.
So now, man, it is so different. It's like, wow, I had no clue it was like this in Vegas. I get Vegas in my mind, all I can see is casinos.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we were down here for TUF 17 for like 2 months, and you think that that's as close as we got to living here at the time. Yeah. But
now you're both there.
It was like, even then it was like we basically went to the gym, went home, ate, got up, went back to the gym.
What's up with you guys both being in Vegas now? What's going on here? Like you guys both made the commitment and you're doing it. What's happening?
Yeah. Well, they ran me out. I don't know about Jamie. They ran me out of there. They ran you out of Portland.
What Clayton's not telling you is that they're looking for him up there. They're trying to find out. He's laying low. He's doing his thing.
We all got warrants, man. I know how it goes, man.
Well, my wife is bugging me about. She wanted to get out of the rain, and she's a California girl, and she's been up in Oregon for many years. And she's just tired, and now I'm retired from my gig that was there. So I said, well, let's do it. So I said, sure, let's get on down here, and I can work with fighters. There's a lot of there's a lot of work up here. There's a lot of fighters. There's a lot of guys who think they can fight. So I was teaching.
Yeah, let me ask you about that. I just have a couple quick questions. And I do thank you for giving us your time, Coach Clayton. Jake also has a question or two before we send this off. But you are actually so you're in Vegas. Obviously, Chael Sonnen is not competing anymore. First question: how do you feel about his retirement? Do you think he's going to come back and ever fight again? And then I'll ask you about the other MMA fighter that you're training, Mr. Uriah Hall himself. But first off, the Chael retirement, do you think we'll ever see him actually fight again? Have you spoken with him since then? I don't know how close you guys are. What's the word on the street?
Well, will he fight again? I don't know. He's still up the game. He's still a high level competitor. I talked to him. I texted him today. We text back and forth constantly. He get information about the Nevada Athletic Commission decisions today. We were over some few of the decisions, this type of thing. But he's still got good guns, and he loves the sport, and he has a promotion now where he's promoting amateurs. So he's around it. Right now, he just needs to lay low, and we'll see down the road. So he just right now, he's he's in a different stage right now where he's relaxing and just counting his options on, looking at his options.
Yeah, he's doing good. He's not hurting or anything. Although I can't say the same thing for I guess you were watching it today. Vanderlei Silva, lifetime ban from competing according to the Nevada State Athletic Commission. You were an assistant coach on TUF Brazil against Team Silva. But I got to ask you, did you ever actually get to interact with Vanderlei Silva? Was he a complete asshole, or what's your take on Silva, Wandy?
I talk to Vanderlei almost every day, and they're saying he's cool. Yeah. That is cool too. He don't like Chael. Chael gets on the skin, and they're competitors. They're both in the same weight class. So yeah, I like the guys in my weight class. So when I fought, so yeah, that's where it is. But yeah, he didn't have a problem with me. I mean, I didn't have a problem with him. Every time I talked to him, he said, "Hey, coach, how you doing? Like, make sure you don't go in this street in Brazil. You'll get robbed like me," and stuff like that. So he was cool.
Yeah, giving you favela tips.
yeah. Every time I met him, every time I talked to him, I know when we did the. You remember when we did the soccer tournament, the soccer challenge, or what was it? Coaches challenge.
Coaches challenge. Coaches challenge.
Yeah, it was coaches challenge with soccer, and we was in a little tent, covering, waiting for everything to be set up and put together. But anyway, and Vanderlei was kind of like mingling around, and I went over to him. I said, "Hey, coach, I said, hey, champ." I forget what I said. "Hey, champ, look at what's going on, man. When I get a chance, man, when I get the big, I'm gonna check your gym out, blah blah blah." And he got kind of nervous because he was in that I'm a tough guy mode because he was ready for the soccer. He was in there getting ready for the soccer challenge. So he kind of pushed me. He didn't push me off, but you can kind of tell he didn't want me out.
Right.
And he didn't want to be seen talking to me nicely. Because usually when we talk nice, it was just he and I, alone, like in the locker room or something.
Yeah.
Now with people watching and stuff, he had to keep
puffs his chest out. Yeah.
Right. So, but he's cool, man. He's a good. I think he's a good guy. I mean, he was always to me. I didn't have trouble with him. I don't have trouble with anybody.
That's weird. I'm hearing that. Except the wife.
Other than that, I'm good.
I will never get married or have children for that very reason, man. I'm sorry. They're not.
I got four, man. I got 4 kids. I got a 40-year-old, I got
Oh,
a
wow.
24. My daughter will be 24 in about a week. Then I got a 19-year-old, and then a 50-year-old. That 50-year-old guy, I'm gonna strangle that cat. He's bigger than me.
He's
Yeah,
out of
that guy's
control.
taller than me now. He's
Oh,
huge.
oh shit. That's
That
crazy.
guy's
Like
huge.
you have adult children.
Yeah,
That
yeah, I
I
got
can't
one, two,
I can't even
two
imagine
of them.
having
Two
one.
or three of
Damn.
them. Man, they and I'm. Let me tell you something, champ. When they are born, they do not stay small very long. They are big. And them cats are eating up all the food. They drive your car. They ain't putting on your clothes. It's crazy. They wear your shoes. You go, hey man, no my shoes. Brother be looking at you like, hey Papa, I thought you didn't think you wanted those things. Hey
Yep.
man, get out of my
Oh, no.
get my Stacy's back. Brother be tripping, man.
Congratulations, though, man. You made it. I'm sure they're
Yeah,
all
they good, man.
I'm sure they're all doing good. I have to ask both
Yeah, they
you
good.
and Coach Jamie Huey. We were talking about tough. I got to ask both of you guys. What and doesn't matter to me which one goes first. Open mic as always on the Win Street podcast. But the Ultimate Fighter. You guys were in season 17 and TUF Brazil. I got to know which one. I'm sure you had life changing experiences, good times on both of them. But which one was the season to remember? Like, if you had to pick one to go, 17, definitely.
17. Yeah, 17. I mean, it was fun in Brazil, but 17, man. You see the fighters come out of that thing?
It's my favorite season so far. Definitely. I'm a little
They're
biased.
the best. Yeah. But, I mean, we had some, Jamie, tell them, man. We had some good fighters in TUF Brazil, but not like 17. Whoa.
Yeah, the thing about 17, I mean, Kelvin obviously won the show, but, Zach Cummings could have won that show. Luke Barnett could have won that show.
Yeah.
Uriah Hall could have won that show. If they did that show, if they did that season, 5 more times, you'd probably have a different winner each season. It's funny, man. Not taking anything away from Kelvin, because Kelvin knows that Kelvin's my guy.
Yeah.
I like to brag because I was actually the guy that said Kelvin was going to win that show a week into that show. But
He did.
the thing about Brazil that was just different was obviously the language is a little different, and I've said this before. The 17 was, we did the tournament and the production documented the tournament. Brazil was us and them trying to build a TV show around
Like a variety show. Yeah.
It was, if they would have just left it alone and just filmed what we did and then put it together.
Mhm.
I mean, season 3 in Brazil was a great season, but I personally believe it could have been better. But me and Clayton were on the same page. We both cornered Warley Alves to get in the fight, and we looked at each other like, even before he went out there, and he fought that cat, War Machine, that just, that was in the news, and that was a bad dude, man. I mean, I'm telling you, Warley's fight to get in the house was the best fight of the season. Before we even went out there to corner Warley, we looked at each other and we knew that this kid was different. There was something about this guy that there's certain guys that just have that hunger, that are willing. A lot of guys say they're going to go out in there, die in the ring if that's what they got to do. This kid was really that guy.
Yeah, he would die in the ring. That guy. Yeah.
That intense.
He's a great kid, but he's a scary dude when that bell rings.
Yeah, he's a stud, man. That guy, he gonna be trouble at 170. A lot of guys.
He's gonna be bad news for anybody.
Yeah, we need to see him back.
If he can get back down to 7, he'll be bad news. That cat is big. All they gotta do is maintain that weight. But he's just a beast. But 17, man, we had like 7 or 8 beats out there. All them cats, man, them cats good. Them cats, man.
And it was one of those seasons where they gave every single person on that show an opportunity to fight in the UFC, which is very rare.
Look how many guys are still in the UFC though from that show. You got some guys that are gonna come back. I think Big Bubba's gonna come back. I think Bubba Dang should fight 205. I wouldn't. If he was my fighter, I'd make
That'd
him
be
fight
cool.
205.
Yeah, I was pulling
I would
for him,
make
man.
him fight. I tell him, I said, I wouldn't make him. I wouldn't have him cutting weight like that to make 85. I would make him fight 205.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of you guys be thinking, oh man, I'll get my weight done and I'll fight these little guys. Man, you get down there, you got no power,
No
weak
energy.
because you have no energy, and then you're fighting these cats that just, they're borderline 205ers themselves, but they're a lot stronger. Man, I told him on TUF Show, I said, son, he asked Chael, he says, Chael, Coach, what you think of my performance, blah, 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 blah. I looked at it, I said, you know what? I said, before Chael asked you, man, if you was my fighter, I'll make you fight 205. I just have you strong. Fight strong. Fight strong, you fight long.
Yep. I wish they would give him that option instead of
man.
these horrible weight cuts.
Man,
Yeah, man, that's a-
he's a
Well,
big
you know,
dude. He's huge.
It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing with the Ultimate Fighter because it is a different environment. One, mental and physical. Like you got the mentally, everybody can fight. The mentally, the strongest guy is going to do good in a season like that. But as the season goes on, especially, you'll see it, I think, in this season with the girls, and you'll see it in our season 17. As the season goes along, these guys are fighting 4-5 times probably in a season from the time they get in the house to the final.
Mhm.
That's tough.
Those weight cuts kick your ass. Kelvin was an advantage being a small 85er because once he got past a couple guys,
Yeah.
you're fighting
he was
5
good.
times in 8 weeks, and you're making weight. Kelvin had a huge had an advantage in there. I mean, mentally he had an advantage,
It was a lot
but
stronger.
physiologically he had an advantage.
But he also had a psychological advantage because those guys would watch their guys sit there and eat like cookies and stuff. That's why they were suffering, trying to make weight.
Yeah.
They sit on the couch. And Kelvin
Hey, Kelvin,
always
to be
waited
there.
till the last. He could make sure wait till the last minute to cut weight. I remember when Randy came on the show for his little demonstration and Kelvin,
Great Supple.
we were like, we were like 1 pound over, man. It was like the way it was like an hour. I was getting nervous. Like Kevin said, "Hey, Coach, I want to go watch Randy. I want to go do his drills." I said, "Man, you got a whole pound. You're bad." I was so nervous that we're gonna be the first coaches that fighters in this way. I'm like, "Oh my God, what you doing?" And he was like, he sit there and watch it. Yeah, it was having me so nervous. But he made it. So,
Yep.
got him in the
Well, the night before he fought Bubba McDaniels, he goes. Jimmy Quinlan told me this story. He goes into the kitchen. He makes like a pound of hash browns. He eats just goes to town on some hash browns and some pumpkin pie, and then he goes in the tub and starts cutting weight.
He's sweating out
what are you
pumpkin
doing?
pie.
He's eating pumpkin pie and a pound of hash browns
Oh, no.
like 5 minutes before he goes in the tub to do his weight cut.
Yeah.
And he made it.
Yeah.
He made it.
Yeah.
He
made it.
Yeah, middleweight,
That guy was
thankfully. Oh, what a crazy
Yeah,
kid.
he's funny.
The day of one of his fights, we show up to the house. We go into the house every weight cut like we did to check on our guy. And Kelvin's still like 8 or 9 pounds over. We're like, whoa, what happened? He goes, I went to do my weight cut last night. There's no hot water. He goes, we lost power in the house, so there's no hot water. I couldn't do my weight cut. And so we're all kind of looking at each other. Well, what did you do instead? He goes, nothing. He goes, I just went to bed.
I went to bed.
What? You just went to bed? He's like, yeah, I just went to bed. Like it was nothing.
Yeah.
It was no big deal to him.
Yeah.
He made, he
so
got the
nervous.
sauna and he made weight. But that was Kelvin. Like mentally,
He had nervous.
he had an advantage, man, because he wasn't stressing out like a lot of these guys
He
were.
was not stressed. He was not
Just
stressed
every
out.
day.
He said, "Yeah, Coach, I just went to bed." I said, "What? What you went to? Are you
I just
kidding me?"
went to bed. Yeah.
No, I
being
wasn't.
there.
I just went to bed.
He'd be rolling around on the ground with, Kevin Casey or Jimmy Quinlan, and he'd get caught in an arm bar, and he'd just pop up and he'd go right back down, and he'd start grappling again. mean, he didn't
Style
spend not
acting.
1 minute. And then you would see guys, you'd see like, Uriah hit Luke with a good jab, and Luke would get kind of pissed off about it, and you could see guys kind of mentally playing this kind of like game, and they were kind of like they were getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Kelvin, not a care in the world. Nah, no big deal. Everything was good.
That's okay. That's all right. I got two arms.
Yeah, and that's my point as far as the tough tournament goes. It benefits the mentally strong and the smaller weight class as the season goes on. So 17 was definitely a special
The
season.
fight game is 90% mental, man. All you guys are good athletes. But it's the one you break down mentally, you got nothing.
Yep.
You break down mentally, you got nothing. It's just like I was telling my son that the other day. He was boxing, got hit with a good body shot, and he wanted to quit. I said, son, can't quit. Mentally, you break down, and next time you work with that guy, he got your number. And mentally, you have an advantage. You show him that you can take it, man. Take it, drive on, suck up your wind, and move your feet, and go back to his body. Copy. It doesn't like copy. You hit his body, you go to his body. That's where it hurts. Hurt him.
Paste,
It's a mental game. It's a mental game. Only the strongest will survive. But that Warner kid out of Brazil, I really like that kid. He's gonna make some noise. I hope but here's one thing I kind of worry about him. I hope he's not satisfied. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because he's getting a lot of accolades over here, and we're in Brazil. He's like a superstar. When you walk around Brazil, you weren't tough. You are like, you're like, Muhammad Ali. Damn near everybody knows you. It's so totally different. They treat the athlete, it's totally different. And I hope he stays hungry, but I don't know, because when he came here for 175, and he must have weighed 210, 220. He was huge.
Damn.
And he had me 170. I looked at it. I had never seen him. I said, "Oh my God."
Damn.
Is he satisfied? Is he happy? Is he
Yeah.
It was. I was stunned. And I talked to this kid. I know this kid was, had his heart was in the game, but as he's satisfied, he's happy. As he's reached the mountaintop. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you, man.
He might have reached the mountaintop. He might be up on top of the mountain now, and he said, "Well, hell,
Yeah, it's
I'm
time.
good right here."
Yes, at some
I'm
point,
good right here.
the check you wrote's got to cash. I get what you're saying. Yeah, definitely,
yes,
man.
I'm looking at him like, man, you got to be hungry, because these boys, these cats are tough right here. Especially at 170.
Yeah, 70
55 to 85 are some bad dudes. From 155 to 180, there's some bad cats out there.
No
Bad,
kidding.
they cats are really good fighters. So you got to be on top of your game if you want to be number one.
Damn right. And
It's
yeah,
hard to get that title once you get it.
it's mental, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got.
I try to talk to you loud about that stuff, man. You gotta definitely stay focused, brother.
Yep.
Stay focused. Don't get caught up in it. But I think he's good. He's gonna be all right. He's a very humble guy, and if you see him walking out here, he talks shit. So you probably know he's fighting.
That's his story. We got Jake has one question about Brazil and you, Coach Clayton. Before I just have one more to send us out of here. Sorry for the long interview, but it's damn good times, man. But Jake,
yeah, it's
you're on
been
Coach
fun. Yeah. We had the pleasure of having Coach Huey on every week during TUF Brazil 3, and we weren't able to get you on during the airing of that show. And Jamie had a ton of stories, and I was wondering if you had a funny or wild story from airing TUF Brazil 3 over there.
Team Sunnin,
Shenanigans.
shenanigans.
Well, we had what was the name of that place? James, what was the name of that place? That little restaurant next to the hotel. Come on, man.
You talking about the buffet? The buffet?
No, not the buffet where the girl was. The other one. I banned that place. I said we'll never go in that place again. Walked in there and we ordered some fish. these guys were sitting there, this guy bring me this plate. It looked like something. I remember way back in the 70s, I was in Berlin. That's when the wall was still up, right?
Yeah.
And you had the East Berlin, you had West Berlin. So if you went over to the east side, you had to wear your uniform. So we'd go over to the east side, wear our uniform, where you got 7 marks to $1. We would go to a restaurant over there, and man, you order your nice meal, everybody, all the big meals, and everybody got the same damn plate. The same damn, no matter what you order, everybody got the same damn thing, right? And the same thing happened in this damn restaurant over here. Because I order a pizza or something, they bring me back this cold ass spaghetti.
No, it was spaghetti. It was spaghetti.
It was pasta.
It was spaghetti.
It was the funny thing, man. I said, "Are you kidding me? This damn thing is cold." I said, "You sons of bitches, you'll never come in here again. You'll never sell another Ria here ever. As long as I'm on the planet, we won't spend no more money." I banned them from going to that little restaurant. It was next door to the restaurant. I took the hotel. I banned it, man.
I wish you knew the name of the restaurant so we could burn it right now on the air.
You know what? I have a picture of Clayton standing out front of this building, giving his remark of what he thought about this place. I'll tweet.
I'll retweet that for sure. It'll be a tag on to this show.
I did the salute of a disapproval salute. That's what I gave it.
I
was so mad.
I love shitty
mad.
restaurant reviews.
You know, it was a funny story. I've known me and Clayton we've been buddies for 20 years probably, right? I've seen Clayton mad maybe 5 times.
This was one of
2 of those times has been about food. One, when they brought him that cold plate of spaghetti, he was so mad. He was gonna throw a rock through the window. He was so mad.
Oh my God!
And another time, his dog ate a sandwich, and he came over to my house. He talked about his sandwich for 25 minutes, and he was gonna shoot his dog. He was that mad.
I was so mad. That was the best sandwich ever. I just had made the sandwich, and I was looking at it. I made the sandwich. I took a bite out. I said, "Damn, that was a good sandwich. That is so good." I put it on the table. It wasn't on the edge. I put it on the table. I'm looking at it. I said, "Damn, nah, that is a sandwich." I took a drink of my pop or whatever I was drinking water. I was looking at that sandwich, and I just stepped away for it had to be 15 seconds. Yeah. I stepped away. I turned to my left. I went around the table. And I grabbed something, but I got out of sight. I was out of sight. I came back around. And all of a sudden, I'm looking. My sandwich was gone, and my dog was licking the floor. I lost it. I said, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "Did you eat my sandwich?" And Riley, my dog, is a female named Riley, an English porn. She looked at me and she wagged her tail.
They know.
I was so mad. I said, if I had no gun, I would shoot you right now. Oh my God. You'd be a dead dog. I was so mad. I was so hungry. And that dog picked that out. Are you kidding me? I told my wife, she said, "Won't you shoot my dog?"
I know. I had a dog. My dog did the same damn thing. It was a Samoyed, an all-white, 100-pound dog, Alaskan. It looked like a wolf. Like it's a Samoyed that breeds crazy. And then my uncle for some reason, he agreed to take care of the damn dog while we were on vacation. And my uncle was a chef. Like he was a cook. And so he was making himself the best that he let it marinate for days, and he laid it out for maybe a minute. He went to go to the bathroom, and he came back. It's gone. It wasn't even cooked yet. The dog just wolfed it down, seasoning and basting and all. He said it took everything in his life not to kill my dog. I'll never forget, man, the day Brandy's life got saved, man. God rest his soul. But one more question, Coach Clayton, before we send you off, and we're gonna have you on again. Last question is, of course, you said the fight game is mental. You're working with another MMA fighter, Uriah Hall, who kind of had a struggle getting into his UFC career with the mental game. I mean, supposedly, I don't know what the real story was, but he turned it around in his last fight. It was I told him it was the most unbelievable display of belief that I've ever seen a fighter have in himself, keeping the fight going with a snapped toe broken off. You're sitting there between rounds trying to convince the doctor and ref that it was already like that going into the fight. What do you have to say about the last Uriah fight, Hall? You
So we sitting there, we sitting there, and round, the round was over after the first round, and I get that chair as fast as possible. I want my guy to get every second of rest and relax, right? And I got the chair. I'm there in the corner waiting on him, and he walks back to the center of the cage, and he's looking down at the center of the cage. Oh, what the hell is he doing? Then they start walking back towards us. He started limping. He gets to the chair. He looks at. He said, "Coach." I broke my toe. I said, "What?" I look down. The bone is sticking out, pointing towards me. I'm going, "What the hell?" And I'm looking, and right away I'm thinking, "Damn it, if he panic, they'll stop this damn fight."
Yep.
And I know this guy can't beat him. So I'm looking at him. And he looked at me in the eye like, "What should we do?" I said, "You all right, son? You good? You good? You good? There's nothing wrong here. You fine. You got 9 more toes. Come on, you all right? We got it. We got it. We got this. We got it." And the referee came over. He looking at his toe, and you can see the referee going like, "Oh, bro, son, we can't let this go on. You got the bones." Uriah jumped. He jumps up and he starts pacing back. "I got this shit. I got this back and forth." And the referee go like, so he called the doctor and he's looking at him. "Well, I guess we shouldn't let it go. He's walking just fine now. It's okay. We'll let it go." He goes out there. I mean, he's kicking this guy with that bad toe. He's kicking the kid up. And then second round is over with. I'm getting a jump, and he's limping back to the corner. I'm screaming, "Don't limp, Brian, don't limp." And they tried to stop it again. They tried to stop the fight. I knew this guy. If Uriah had not dislocated that toe like that, broke that bone out, they had separated, they'd have stopped that guy.
Yeah,
I said, there's no way this guy could beat him. But anyway, we just let him know that he was good. "You good, Uriah? You good, man? We got this. No problem, man. Just suck it up. Don't even worry about it, man. We take care of this fight." Anyway, the doctor, he stands up a little early before the rest time period is over, and the doctor goes up to him, and they trying to stop it. They were trying to stop it. If Uriah would have gave in and signed that he was in pain, severe pain, they'd have stopped that.
Yeah.
But he lets it go, and the crowd just go absolutely nuts. Yeah. He goes out there, kick this guy outside the head with that same foot.
It was crazy.
Down. Yeah, man, he's down. And the kid did take him down the last, 20 seconds left in the round.
Yeah.
Third round. Tried to strike him a few times. But Uriah tried to even get a Kimura going down. It was pretty intense at the moment. I go, "Oh, my God," but he wanted shenanigans and said, "No big deal." But anyway, that you've seen on camera. You've seen it. He gave a nice announcement, remarks after the fight and everything. He really said some very quotable words.
The post-fight speech was awesome. We played it on the show. It was great.
Check it out. When he got back to the dressing room, he was screaming back. He screams out, "Ah! Is it a boy or is it a girl?"
Have you seen the UFC actually put out the video of him getting his toe adjusted backstage? It's
my God.
terrible.
You want me to try and dig up the clip real quick?
Yeah, if you got it, Jake. But yeah, oh God, how unbelievable. Do you think Coach Clayton
he gained more fans and respect by driving through that pain and finishing that fight than anything he's ever done.
Yeah, no one's ever going to question. Even Dana White was saying, Dana White was even saying, he's not a fighter at one point a couple months ago. Now there's no doubt in anybody's mind after that.
Well, and to kind of interject my 2 cents on that, one of the things that I don't think Clayton has really gotten enough credit for, either working with Chael or working with Uriah is, there's a lot of guys that know a lot about the sport. They could go out there and they know a lot about boxing. They know a lot about MMA. But Clayton's approach, his mental approach to the fight game is different than most people I've been around. Chael was a really good fighter, but things changed when he started working with Clayton. I remember running the hill one day with these guys, and it's a Sunday, and Chael says, he goes, I think I'm gonna start talking a little bit more. I think I'm gonna start kind of. I don't know if that was a Yushin Akami fight or what fight that was. He goes, but I think I'm gonna get a little bit more. I'm gonna get a little bit more vocal from now on. And Clayton, hey, Muhammad Ali did this, and we talked a little bit. I remember about Fernando Vargas fighting Oscar De La Hoya, and we talked about kind of trash talking in the game, and I think that Clayton had the ability to connect with Chael on a level that Chael had so much confidence. He was a different fighter after that, and now you're seeing Uriah was like just a gangster on the show. He's murdering everybody, and then when he left the show, he struggled a little bit with Kelvin, and he struggled in the fight with Howard, but he spends his last 3, 4, 5 weeks of every camp at Clayton's house, and now you see the mental aspect of what Clayton has to offer guys like Chael and Uriah, and it brings out the best in fighters. It's like I always say, like I can teach a guy to fight, but I can't teach somebody how to be a fighter. That's something you have or something you don't. But sometimes it's in there and they don't know how to tap into it. And my personal opinion is nobody knows how to bring that out better in a fighter than Clayton does.
Yeah, definitely, man. You're coaching people through title fights. That is nuts, man. That definitely. I will ask you the last question after Jake plays the clip of Uriah Hall going through the pain, getting that win out. It is the moment of agony, but it all ended up working out well. Coached by Clayton hires himself. This is Uriah Hall. Jake, anytime you're ready, play that shit.
Just relax. Close your eyes. Relax.
Him getting his
I couldn't imagine that pain, dude. Like them.
Now splendid.
And I think he comments on it in a second.
Come on, just grab on. You're fine.
Oh, you got all this on film, you mother.
Just look at me.
You got all this on film, you motherfucker.
Hold up, Clayton. Now, did Uriah yell louder just now, or when he got in that ice bath at TUF 17?
An ice bath.
That whole place echoed. I'm telling you, when he got in that ice bath.
Yeah, loud. I know you're about to do that loud.
I think I saw that. Oh my god! All right. It's good times. But of course, it's getting late, and you gentlemen, you coaches have spent more time than I ever deserved in this entire life. I can't thank you enough for coming on my show, for talking. Hopefully there'll be a part 2. Coach Clayton, you have an open invitation to come on to co-host, talk to us anytime you want. Prank call us. It doesn't matter. You're welcome, man. This is a family here. We all. I followed along the Team Sun and epic saga. Everybody, it's like I know you.
I hear you, brother. It was fun, man, and we'll do it again. I take some time away, but I'll do it again.
Yeah, definitely.
But it'll happen again. I'm gonna go. It'll happen again. Hey, Jamie, tomorrow, man? Let me see. Tomorrow's what's the Wednesday? We get ready. We just got here, and we just ready. We kind of do all the pick work and get moving to our new townhouse and stuff. So we're in a run right now. So I'm probably gonna be tied up a little bit the rest of this week. So
no, I hear you.
I don't know if I'll be able to get down to the gym, but we got some big fights coming on this weekend too. Got some big fights coming on that 178 it is, I think it is, here in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
man.
Yeah,
Right.
it's some big MMA fights, big MMA fights this weekend.
Yep.
Got all the fighters coming into town. A lot of changes on the roster. A lot of big fight. I think Chris Weidman is out. They got some
Yeah.
kind of fight going with
Yeah, a broken hand.
Lawless.
I guess that happens all the time in
Yeah.
MMA. Damn.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Damn.
Why
Man.
not? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, with them damn little gloves, man.
Yeah, but at least we got Donald Cerrone, Eddie Alvarez, Demetrius Johnson versus Carriazo, Tim Kennedy, Conor McGregor's fighting Poirier. Dominic Cruz is coming back to fight Mizugaki. Yeah, this card is
Yeah,
definitely
and,
stacked.
our friend James Krause and actually Zach Cummings will be up here this weekend, I believe. So I'm gonna have to reach out to him.
They will?
Get a hold of
bad.
Zach.
Yeah,
Zach.
John Howard is fighting this weekend too. John Howard's fighting.
Oh, yeah,
Brian,
John Howard.
Doomsday.
You know, to make a comment real quick, you know, that you mentioned Tim Kennedy, but I tell you what, the guy he's fighting with, don't be surprised if Tim Kennedy ends up losing that fight.
Romero. Yeah, man, that's gonna be
That's
tough.
a bad dude. That wrestler from Cuba.
Yeah, isn't he a judo guy?
Yeah, Romero. He's actually most well known for unfortunately shitting
Pooping his pants, yeah.
during the last UFC fight.
I didn't know that.
He did what?
He shit his pants
What'd he do?
in the last UFC fight, the one before it. Yeah, Romero, he shit his pants during the fight.
Now, isn't Romero the guy? Shit.
Yeah.
He's the guy that he recently beat Brad Tavares, right? The guy, one of our guys from Couture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's a damn good fighter. He's ranked number 10, but
he's a beast.
yeah, he was a beast, but he definitely did shit his pants.
It I think was the fight against Derek Brunson, and they asked him afterwards, and he said it was water. But if you look at pictures of it, it's pretty obvious he pooped his pants.
Yeah, and I guess it happens.
What was he? You know what? What was he? Yeah, where's that? You know.
Yeah, I don't know who the fight was. It was, god damn it, Clifford Star.
I think it was Brunson.
Tavares.
Hey, but
I think it was the one against Derek Brunson.
I expect a couple of upsets in 7-8. So
yeah, definitely.
There'll be some surprise. There'll be a couple of surprises, I believe.
Oh, we'll all be watching. But yeah, Coach Clayton Harris, can't thank you enough for your time. We will let you go, and then we'll say goodbye to Coach Jamie Huey. But wow, Team Sunday coaches
Alrighty,
both
brother.
on. It's been
Alright,
epic,
peace
man.
out.
Yeah, keep in touch, man, and take care of yourself. And God bless.
Will do. All right, well, God bless you guys.
See you later, Coach. A legend in his own right. There he goes, Coach Clayton Hires. Coach Jamie Huey, thank you for hooking that up, man. He was definitely. I'm glad he gave us that much time. It was hilarious. This man, I could have talked to him. We could have kept this going all night, but obviously I'm pretty bad at that. Coach Jamie, man, you're living there in Vegas with him, dude. Definitely. You guys have to stay united, stay on the same team, keep it going, keep the team Dark Side going. You guys are the ones to do it, man.
Yeah. You know, like I said, you know, me and Clayton been friends a long time, man. We were neighbors, and now we both relocated down here to Las Vegas, so it's going to be Team Dark Side to the end.
Hell yeah, man. Coach Huey, we are going to wrap up this entire podcast. Because that was a long interview, and again, I can't thank you guys enough for your time. It's always, it's always, honestly, it's an honor. You guys are doing great work out there. Where can people contact you, find you, and anything that we missed that you wanted to shout out or maybe talk about? Now's the time to do it, Coach Jamie, the living legend Huey.
You know, I plugged Clayton's Twitter account. I believe it's at MMA Stand Up Coach. I believe at
MMA Stand Up Coach. Yes, on
MMA Stand Up Coach. Hashtag Coach Clayton, and you can find me on Twitter at Coach Jamie Huey, Instagram at Coach Jamie Huey, website www.coachjamiehuey.com. And I am in Las Vegas over at Extreme Couture. Hit me up on Twitter if you're coming down to Vegas. I'm available for privates or drop-ins anytime at the gym.
Excellent. Coach Huey, man, again, thank you for you actually rallied the campaign to get the gentleman Coach Clayton hires on the show. I do appreciate that, and that it actually happened. I was nervous coming into this one. It's been a while since I've gotten nervous for a podcast, man, but I can't thank you enough. So I wanted to say here on the podcast, thank you for making tonight happen, man. As always, coming through with great guests for this show, dude. Honestly, I
Anytime,
appreciate
guy.
it. Hell
Always
yeah.
my pleasure. Always fun.
Hell yeah. Coach Huey, we will talk to you. I'll talk to you shortly, but hopefully we'll see you again next week or as soon as possible. Again, follow him at Coach Jamie Huey on Twitter. Thanks, Coach. We'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right, take care. And there he goes, the living legend, Team Sun and Coaches. We spoke to them tonight on the Word on the Street podcast. We will be wrapping it up, but it's me and Jake here left. We like to do a little off, mics open, sign off at the end of the shows here. Or at least I'm just claiming that right now. And so Jake will get my cue and we'll do this. But Jake, man, anything that we should maybe perhaps mention before we sign off here, as far as MMA news going? But obviously Chris Weidman out with a broken hand. Vanderlei Silva banned for life. Floyd Mayweather, the weed was fake. What else you got?
Nike drops John Jones. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I laughed my ass off. Hell yeah. God bless him. Didn't he have his own shoes? Did anybody even buy a pair? You ever seen anybody with John Jones Nike gear out there? They dropped him for more reasons than this shove here against Cormier. But yeah, man, the Weidman fight being off, I just wanted to ask you real quick, man. Obviously there's 2.5 months. He's got a broken hand. It's a title fight.
Before we get to, should we take a prayer break first?
Oh, that's right. We've been doing that lately. I keep forgetting to thank the one who makes all things possible. Everyone's Lord Christ, Savior, whatever the hell they call it. We will take a short prayer break here on the Word on the Street podcast to thank His Almighty and praise His name.
Light him if you got him. Praise His name.
Praise Him.
I usually go with black gospel music. This time I went with white gospel music, and it was not nearly as good. I fucked up.
Sounded like the Cranberries or something, man. I don't know. It's ridiculous, man. But there you go. That, shout out to the Lord. I guess He made all existence possible, and therefore MMA fights.
Shout out God.
Damn right. And yeah, man, MMA topics, whatever. If you want to get real news and stuff, that'll come tomorrow. Jake will tell you exactly where to find that because we are wrapping this up. Jake from the MMA podcast, tell them what's going down, where we can find you before we wrap this thing up.
Yeah, tomorrow night we got a bunch to break down. We're going to break down UFC 178. We're going to talk about Chris Weidman backing out of the Belfort fight, replaced with Hendricks Lawler 2. We're also going to talk about Nick Diaz finally coming back to fight Rafael Dos Anjos, a bunch of stuff. Follow us on Twitter at The MMA Podcast, or visit themmapodcast.com. Click the tabs at the top. The MMA Podcast and the Word on the Street podcast share the same iTunes feed to make it easy for y'all. So click the iTunes to follow us there. The YouTube, just as easy. It's not the same feed like iTunes, but click the link anyway. Subscribe. We love the shit out of you. We'll see you tomorrow night.
You're damn right, people. Thanks for listening to the Word on the Street podcast. Follow me, The Ant Jimmy Show on Twitter. Thanks again for listening. Thanks, Coach Jamie Huey. The Jake from the MMA podcast, Coach Clayton hires a special guest, Chael Sonnen. My bastard son, Ross Finkelstein, Ike Valley Flag, Yana Chroma, Jenny Friedman, and of course, sweet Lexi Natalia Alexis. Shout out. Good to know you again. And
Fatal Tito.
That's right, people. We'll see you next week at the dojo. Word on the street.
Beat him up, break his neck, beat him up,
Play, take me through it.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you gon' get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Lewis Everyone's talking about you.
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm gonna set it for you real quick.